No one said stop it. Fucking Lion King.
I just can't wait to be king.
Damn, where were you belting these vocals in the Christmas video?
You know, I learned
You feel it
so
in your
much.
heart more now,
I
huh?
learned so much from that experience of recording that song.
Yeah.
And like actually having someone that records
Knows music, yeah.
And like Jay, shout out Jay.
Shout out Jay all day, every day.
Let's pop these real quick.
Sure, yeah.
The first pop dogger of the Underachievers
I like
podcast.
how you can't even see it. Here, hang on. Let's cheers it like right here on the camera. See, look, so that it looks like we're touching.
Oh.
Clink.
Clink.
Hey.
Shout out to Jay, honestly, because even though like we were recording it, we're putting it together, he was still like, we did the first run through, and then he was like, the second time, coached me, like really coached me.
Vocal coach Jay.
Yeah, and like it helped so much, and I had such a better understanding of how to record music and how to kind of look at song structures. And honestly, if I had the experience that I do now and the way that I think about it, that song would have probably came out a little bit better. But it was still great, and it was still so much fun.
Yeah, and when we cover I Just Can't Wait to Be King later this year, when we do our Lion King remake.
Oh my God.
What a world would that be? Yeah. If only one could be so ambitious to remake Lion King. Wait a second.
We'll remake Lion King 1.5. We won't do the first Lion
Wasn't
King.
that just like a Timon and Pumbaa movie?
Hey man, we gotta start low, work our way up.
It's much cheaper to buy a warthog and a meerkat than it is a lion. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, if there's anything that Tiger King taught me in 2020 is tigers and lions.
You
are
must have seen
expensive, bro.
a different episode of that than I saw. I didn't realize the part where they went over the fucking budget. But hey, Tiger King, that was a very 2020 TV show,
Very
was it not?
2020. Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you? Have you rewatched it or thought about rewatching it since?
I will rewatch it when the Nicolas Cage movie comes out.
Ooh, is that?
That's a real thing.
I'll take that.
There's a real thing Nicolas Cage is doing with his time.
Dude, he puts out, what was it, like 100-something movies, right?
What, a year?
Like 2019, it came out that he had put out like 100-something movies, right?
Like just total.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I mean, yeah, it's impressive.
Impressive, but at the same time, it's like, is that what you're doing with your time, Nicolas Cage?
He's probably very well off.
He's got time.
Regardless of if these movies make money or not, Nicolas Cage has made the money.
Yeah.
He's earned his right, because they have to go the extra mile to get Nicolas Cage. They're like, man, our protagonist is a off-the-hinges white dude who is balding.
Dude,
we know who to cast for that, Nicolas Cage. Can we afford him?
They don't have to try that hard. They're just like, hey, Nick, is it okay if we call you Nick?
Yeah, but only with a C, no K, please.
We have a late 40s, off-the-hinges white male, balding protagonist.
Continue. Can he have sex with a cat?
What's your schedule looking like? I'm open.
Yeah.
24/7.
I'm sure people literally make movies at this point with Nicolas Cage as the lead in mind before it's even produced, written, anything. They make sure that they can lock him in, and he's like, "Of course, I've got every day free."
Nicolas Cage almost sounds
On Saturday, I'm going to explain what the word "cunt" means on Netflix, but after that, I've got all day.
I can pencil you in though. I can pencil you in.
It's like a 10-minute recording. Nicolas Cage is a real trip, and we're looking to have him on the next episode.
Yeah. Vegas local, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
My dad's met him a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, he used to come my dad used to work at Aaron Brothers, which is like an art and framing store, and he would go in there to get like shit framed. So,
You know, funny enough, Kenneth used to work at Michael's.
okay, very similar.
And
Yeah.
very similar story. He had something framed. I think he said it was like a a kid's like drawing or a painting.
That's what my dad said it was.
No way.
I swear to God.
Shout out Nicolas Cage for fucking framing all these kids' works.
Also, shout out Nicolas Cage for having kids.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Can you imagine being Nicolas Cage's kid? Now that's a world.
Imagine being Nicolas Cage's kid and knowing that his best movie is Gone in 60 Seconds.
I haven't even seen that.
You've never seen Gone in 60 Seconds?
I thought that was
Next time
30,
on the
30 minutes or
Underachievers,
less.
we're watching Gone in 60 Seconds. Dude, Angelina Jolie, white people dreads in that? Fuck.
She does?
Yeah. Steals my heart every time.
Well, you know, easy heart to steal. Epic wink. So what are we doing today, Marco? Huh? What is this? What is this thing? What is this room?
What is this room?
What is this space?
Room, you know, usually there's a green screen here. We don't usually get to show off the
No,
room.
usually we just sit in front of a video game. We just have a giant video game screen behind us.
It's the return of the Underachievers podcast.
What?
2021 edition. Coincidentally enough,
Yeah.
is this episode 24?
25.
25.
Yes.
The 2025 edition. I don't know. Whatever.
We'll air this in 4 years, just for it to make sense. Right on the age on the day of Nicolas Cage's death, the anniversary.
We'll celebrate it like the death of Superman.
So not at all. Fuck
But,
Superman.
Yeah, we're back here. We wanted to get the podcast going again, just because we're doing everything else, so the video games, the sketches. The podcast holds a special place in my heart.
Hell yeah.
Just because this was actually something that kind of crossed my mind, kind of thinking about all this and everything that we've kind of done in the last year and everything that's kind of happened in the last year.
Yeah, too much.
Is it's way too much to go into, but we've been doing this. We've been working on projects for about 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like we've only seriously been in YouTube in my mind for like 9 months.
Yeah, exactly. So
it popped off like literally just before COVID, and quarantine, and all these not so fun things.
But the podcast has been running for 3 years now.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember 3 years ago, so let alone what the podcast was like.
Yeah, exactly.
I think even one time I tried listening to the first episode again. I don't think I got very far.
We should definitely run that back.
We should go remaster the audios on those bitches too. For sure.
But so kind of that idea of we've been working together for about three years, seriously for about not even 9 months.
We've been
dedicated
to it,
I mean, since quarantine started, but we've known each other for
too long. Let's cut it. Let's get a year off.
7, 8 years at this point.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I
I
must
met
have been like
you
fresh out of high school. 2012 is my guess.
Yeah, I graduated 2011, so I want to give me a year on top of that. So like 2012, which would be like 8. I would say 8 years safely, and that blows my mind.
It is pretty wild. I know. I think a lot about like all my longest term friends and those that are actually still kind of around and kicking. Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of people, you know, I don't ever expect people, especially living in Vegas, to stay here unless you really just want to lean into the alcoholic angle. So I was never surprised when people moved away and stuff, especially like to California, where there's obviously more opportunities for the kind of stuff that we kind of do. But yeah, I don't know. I think at this point, in terms of people that are still standing, you're probably the longest running. So I'll be sure to get you a trophy made soon.
How did
At least
you know?
until I give it to someone else.
Yeah.
After that, I've known Carlton for a long time too, but he moved, so he forfeited his title. Sorry, buddy. If you want to come back, you can get the trophy. But
yeah, I just think it's so special, honestly, and truly, I think if there's anything that not only us kind of working a little bit harder at our craft, but also with the way that kind of 2020 went, just appreciating the people that are in your life in a way that like is not necessarily like going above and beyond, not just being like, oh, hey, I appreciate you as a friend, but like you're like I really try to dig time out of my schedule for us to not only do what we do recording wise, you know, like we do, but also just like be friends.
Yeah.
You know, I think one thing last year that was like, we're still very much friends outside of this, you know. But you know, we try to be we try to be friends. We try to be friendly. We try to do things that aren't related to just recording and
making
stuff like
content
that.
And stuff, yeah,
exactly. And I think like that's so important, and that's so important. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been saying this to death lately because, you know, we all watched Cobra Kai. Literally everyone in America has watched Cobra Kai at this point. And if you haven't, you're not an American. Sorry to let you know this way.
It's corrupt.
But yeah, something in the movie Karate Kid that always stuck with me is like when Mr. Miyagi says like balance is not just for karate, it's for all of your life. Mm-hmm. And I think about that a lot. I think about that all the time because I feel like 2019 for me was like such a year of misbalanced priorities. Mm-hmm. Like I was like trying to do stand up. I had a relationship. I was working at a 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 job. Actually, in 2019, I was working from
you were working
like 2 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah,
it was some weird, crazy shit. You know, like it just there was no management of that stuff, and so that is definitely something that I've tried to like figure out more along the way. Because like anything that you don't like give the same amount of time to, something else is going to fall elsewhere. Yeah, 100%. For sure. That's just how it go. Thank you, Mr. Miyagi, for that too.
Shout out Mr. Miyagi, honestly.
Mr. Miyagi's chock full of quotes. Solid quotes.
Best part about Karate Kid is, or Cobra Kai, is that it literally recaps all the best parts of Karate Kid without having to rewatch the whole movie. It's just like, we're going to give you snippet. Hey, this is all you need. Right. You know? I appreciate that.
But you still don't know Mr. Miyagi's deepest, darkest secret. Unless you watch Karate Kid.
Ooh. Yeah. He loves classic cars.
No, that's obvious. We know that. Yeah, I don't know. The balancing was something I thought about a lot. It's just a good thing that anybody should think about. It's just a matter of like... Especially like when I thought about like in the last year, I've been like teaching myself Photoshop, Premiere Pro, like all these different things like that. But then I was like, man, I would also love to get into voice acting. I would like to like try and learn After Effects and like legitimate VFX, like visual effects that people could use in actual movies, explosions, fake swords, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know, doing music was something I've always been interested in, all these things, but it's a matter of like, I can't do all this at once.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Not enough time.
Yeah, even fucking Bruno Mars couldn't do it all at once, you know? So like...
But he'd catch a grenade for you, though.
He would catch a grenade from me, but not you.
I look like his twin brother, bro. I feel like he would catch it for me before he catches it for
I think he'd find offense to that and then throw it back. He'd catch it. He'd be like Call of Duty when Call of Duty implemented the ability to catch grenades and throw them back. That's Bruno Mars on the average.
That was his idea. Yeah. He went to Ubisoft and was like...
Before he even wrote the song, too.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you're Bruno Mars. You'd catch a grenade from me? He's like...
What if you throw it back?
But I'd throw it back, yeah. I just want the opportunity to change my mind. All right, Bruno. We'll do it for you.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, Miyagi's chock full of wisdom, though. If you guys want to learn a little thing or two about life, you don't have to watch the Karate Kid, but
just Cobra Kai.
Just look up,
that's all you need.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely finding time to actually like enjoy, you know, the especially like I feel like I've been so stressed, just ever since we start. Not necessarily stressed, but it's like I like ever since we started like working on shit. It's like there's actual deadlines.
Yeah.
But it's still a matter of like, it's always on the back of my mind that there's like something that could be being done and I'm sitting here watching YouTube, you know?
Oh, dude.
Shit like that.
Trust me. It's that infinite struggle that crosses my mind. Like, every year it's my New Year's resolution to watch more new movies. Like,
just new movies?
New movies, yes.
Because you watch a lot of the old, same stuff. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, movies that I love to rewatch and really dissect and kind of pick out the themes and just look for things and like stylistically, I don't know. Just I really like to pick apart movies that I enjoy. But every year I tell myself, watch new movies, watch classic movies, watch, you know, just watch new stuff just so you can kind of broaden the horizon of my taste, you know?
And see how the medium is like evolving too.
Exactly. Well, even then to look back, like, I mean, We've talked about it on all across the board.
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. Well, just my distaste for like 80s movies.
Oh, right.
Minus
Yes.
Star Wars, right? Like
That's a 70s movie, but yeah.
Or well, 70s, whatever. Like those classic like Back to the Future, Indiana Jones. Like, I just don't appreciate them. Like, I don't think that they.
Don't tell George Lucas.
I don't know. They just don't do it for me
Yeah.
personally. But at the same time, like, I still want to watch those classics and see and get my own opinion on it. Like, Blazing Saddles. Have you ever watched Blazing Saddles?
No, but it's a Gene Wilder movie, right?
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Sorry, that's what I'm thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
My brother-in-law loves it.
Yeah.
Every time, like, we're talking about great movies, he talks about this movie. And I've always just kind of brushed it off, whatever. But now in my head with this new, like, watch movies sort of, like, mindset, it's like, let's put this on a list. And let's watch it.
Yeah.
Let's really watch it.
Or have a list. It was a good.
Yeah.
Concept.
I mean, it's on my watch. It's on my watch later, you know?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean shit. I have my watch later is like,
I want to see what your watch later is compared to mine.
oh my God, I can't even imagine.
But at the same time, like, I have those things where I'm like, I want to watch more movies, but at the same time, like, I watched Eraserhead today.
Right.
And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I should be writing notes.
And you still couldn't tell me what it was about.
Oh my God. Till this day, I honestly cannot wait to Google what Eraserhead is by David Lynch, but I cannot wait to look up what that movie is really about.
Truly about, yeah.
Because
a YouTube video essay waiting for you somewhere.
Dude, I cannot wait. But it's just stuff like that. I feel you so much. Like, there's that the project, the Tipsy Tales project that we have that's looming over my head, and at this point it's like a 40-minute ball of like stress.
Yeah.
You know?
And you want to make it into a 20-minute ball of stress.
Bro, yes. I'm trying to, well, at this point I've nailed it down to 2 15-minute parts. Yeah. That's kind of my idea.
It could work. We'll figure it out in time. I mean, that whole project is kind of in limbo. But yeah, I mean, I think the way that I have like an app I use. It's called Tick. That essentially is like you track like what kind of daily things you need to get done, like tasks. You can also use it to build habits, which is something I've used to like train myself to like walk every day, exercise, track all my food income and output. Meditating is also part of that. It's just a good app for all kinds of tracking. But the more I add shit to it to like tell me that I need to review this script that we wrote or whatever, or like, the more I feel like it stresses me out because I have it like scheduled to like ping me for all these things. So like when it goes off one day and it's like, hey, you have 5 things overdue, and I'm like, shit. But it's like nothing's really overdue because it's like there's no deadline really. But I don't know. We kind of create our own stress sometimes, is what I'm thinking in my own head.
Do you feel like the meditation and kind of like the daily exercise helps you kind of cope with those things?
With like what, getting work done?
Well, I mean, like,
not really,
stress or kind of getting things done or just kind of like your overall well-being. Like, do you think those things kind of
in terms of overall well-being for sure? I mean, like, I'm sure we'll get into it, but like 2020 in general for me it didn't start off on any kind of a strong foot. And really I just kind of had to, it was going to be a real make or break year for me where I felt like if I didn't actually like pull all this shit together and start to like make actual changes, then like I was just going to like, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I wouldn't know. I'm not like the suicidal type or anything like that. I don't think I ever would have gone that far, but I don't know. I probably would be a different person. I feel like, that's all. I don't know. It really felt like it was either like I had to like lift myself out of it, or it was just going to like consume me.
Which is like all too easy to kind of let happen.
It's so easy to be like consumed by your own depression and like overthinking and like whatever the fuck's going on in your head. It's all anxiety really in the end. I found like any kind of thinking that isn't based on like the present is anxiety. If you're like thinking about the past, it's like it doesn't matter. You're just stressing yourself out for no reason. Thinking about the future, it does matter, but what can you be doing right now to actually make it matter or impactful? Or you can just sit there and think all day, oh, I don't have a job. What do I do about it? Yeah, fucking, you should be looking for a job probably. Or, like cultivating some sort of skill, anything along those sorts. Yeah. So that stuff does help. Meditation, I think just helped me understand like kind of where my head was at and like what I was thinking. I've been like in a perpetual state of numbness where I didn't really know how I was feeling for like the last 3 years or some shit, maybe even more. So like I think that was really the main thing with meditation, like helping me kind of pinpoint like what I was feeling, or even like meditation. Sometimes I would use it for like to just like create a state of like focus, so that I could get work done. There was always that too.
Nice.
Yeah, and then exercise is really everyone should be exercising. I neglected my physical health for like 25 years, probably more. So I was like, I'm fine, like somehow
you think you're healthy until you see yourself like. I think it took like seeing myself at like the heaviest.
Sure, yeah.
And then I was like, ooh, this is not good. And then like I got down and then I saw myself like then like at my heaviest and I'm like, yeah, okay, we're not getting back to that point again.
Right. I mean, you would hope not, right? It just, I don't know. That shit can really sweep you up, I feel like. But really I found it's not as hard as I had once thought to like just set aside an hour or two a day to like exercise or walk or I don't know why. I made such a big deal about it before anything else. I was cool, it's much easier now. And also like you just, I don't know, it's not even just like self-confidence. I feel like there's like something else that comes with just exercising, that
a little bit of motivation.
Maybe it's motivation. Maybe it's just more energy, for sure.
I think it's so much because you definitely get more energy from just being more active. Even though like in the time you're like, okay, like I'm tired after it, but like the after effects, you're kind of like, oh, I have more energy to do other things. Yeah. Because of this.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like even like something I had heard was like, when I stream at twitch.tv/Cody's nuts, every time before I do a stream, I'll just like exercise for like 30 minutes. Just a good bump.
What's your exercise like?
I do like 20, 25 minutes of dumbbells, 30 minutes of running, and then I'll usually take like a 20, 30 minute walk. There's obviously like core exercises. Usually it's high intensity interval training, which is where you just like work out with like very small breaks in between, and it just kind of, your body is like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
It has like no clue. So it's just like trying to do everything at once. But it's all the kind of stuff that you can like, you just set aside like a good 30 minutes, do it, you can get some other shit done, do it again in an hour, cough you. How dare you, COVID ass bitch.
It went down the road, but
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how if any younger people are listening, but I really did neglect that shit for years and years, and there's really no real good reason for it.
Dude, well, I think like you hit 21, and if you're like the social outgoing kind of like out and about type, you obviously gravitate towards like the go out to a bar, have a drink, have a couple beers,
nachos.
Yeah, nachos. You go out,
chicken
eat fucking
fingers?
Jack in the Box after,
Taco Bell was my pick, but yes.
Whatever. But like that just steadily becomes like your life for a couple years, and then at one point you're just like, I feel like dog shit, like I don't think I can do this for much longer.
Yeah. And or when you start to see like the people don't really give a shit, they only like want to be intoxicated, and I don't know, there's all kinds of weird shit there.
Yeah it's a lot, but even then it's like I like my stuff, like I see my belly, like I see my belly predominantly like sticking out now. Like I'm 28. I can't like, I don't look like that slim 22-year-old, Like, I think I got to figure this out.
It's part of getting older too, right? Like your body is eventually just going to kind of reject or like embrace all the shit that you've been doing to it for the last 10 years.
Yeah. And kind of got to switch that up.
You got to switch the gears, man. I don't know. It's weird to think about, but I just don't get why. I think a lot of it is just people are self-conscious about the idea, but I don't know. It's not worth the alternative, I feel like.
For me, it was a very self-motivated thing. Because at the beginning of quarantine, I was at my heaviest. Specifically,
Good synchronized
Simultaneous.
birthday.
Nice. Super Bowl last
That's
year.
how we know we're both Sagittarius. Is that
You're
even
not a
true?
Sagittarius.
I think I am,
I think
actually.
you're a Scorpio. No?
Hey, Alexa.
Hey, Google. For me, it was like I got on the scale. I saw that I was 190 and easily the heaviest I was. And I was like, oh, shit, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And then I remember it fondly. I was sitting and driving, and I would feel like my love handles like stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
As I was driving, and I was like, all right, I think it's time. And then I just felt super self-conscious, and then I started running, started working out. I lost the weight, and then I was like, okay, like I feel better about myself. It wasn't necessarily something that Sarah was like, oh my God, I think you would look better if you lost weight. Or, like, obviously she was like, you do look slimmer, you do look better. But it like, at the end of the day, it genuinely was just so I could not feel like a giant slug.
Yeah, you should do it for yourself.
Every day. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part is realizing for yourself that, like, you should be better.
Yeah. I mean, like, self-love is something that people preach all the time that just sounds corny, and it's hard to take seriously as a result. But, like, as somebody who, like, started the year with a breakup and, like, just had to be like, wow, there's really, like, nobody else who's going to do this shit but you. Yeah. It's just like, it sounds corny as shit, but really it should be more important to you to be like, and even then when I think about, like, relationships especially, I don't even entirely understand why my last relationship ended, but a lot of it was because I had more self-love for myself or love for them than they had for themselves, and it was like too much to handle, or like they didn't get it, or I don't really know. It's hard to say. Relationships are weird for that reason, but it's like they always say, like, love yourself before you try to love someone else or some shit like that. It's just like, it's that same shit. It sounds corny. It sounds dumb. It sounds,
but it's very
but
true.
I mean, I mean, how are you supposed to know why somebody else would be into you or love you if you have no love for yourself? You just think that they're faking it the whole time. And that's not a good mindset either. So
that's a very unhealthy mindset.
Yeah. But you're saying at the start of quarantine, you were 190? What are you at right now, if you don't mind?
I'm probably back up to...
Or like whenever you last checked, I guess.
I think 165, if not 170.
It's pretty light, yeah.
Still light. I wanted... But at my lowest, I was 150. 150 or 145.
I only got a scale in the last 2 years, so I couldn't even tell you what my lowest would be. Or my highest.
Well, my weight loss was definitely like scale orientated. Like I was tracking all my food, my water intake, carbohydrate, like everything. Like I was on it, tracking all my miles, my exercise.
Pain in the ass, right? Food especially.
Yeah. The app that I used was pretty easy, but it was just like I was just taking it very seriously, and I think if I did it again, I would do the same thing.
It sounds like way more work at first. Once you just kind of make a system of it, it's not too bad.
Exactly.
You're like, I ate. What did I eat? Write it down, bitch.
Exactly. Well, even then, like the app that I use, you can literally scan like the barcodes on the food, or
that is very convenient.
So like,
right.
So like, we could scan this right now, and it would pull up like the nutritional facts.
Probably wouldn't for this though. You want to know why? Because beer is famous for hiding the nutrition facts. I looked into this recently.
Well, that's the thing with the app though.
Really?
It'll pull because people will scan it and then
they'll
edit it. Like
crowdfunding.
I was gonna do it with my Chiba Hut sandwich.
Oh shit!
Because that was kind of like my cheat meal.
Yeah.
I would not eat. I would eat super low carb.
Chiba meal.
So it would be
stupid.
Fun. I found the nutritional facts for my sandwich, so I was gonna create it and put the Cali Mist in there. So whenever I ate the Cali Mist, I could just look it up, Cali Mist, and then it would just drop all the nutritional shit in there and just completely ruin my day.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know that shit already is like 1,400 calories or some shit.
That bread will get you, brother.
Bread will get you. That's why I love it.
Yeah, but
I want it to get me.
I think it's great because when we started, I don't even want to say start of the year, but I think progressively as our time has gone on, we've known each other for so long. But I think the shit that we talk about, the stuff that we talk about, hasn't always been, this is going to sound so corny, how we feel.
Right, yeah.
You know, like it's just been kind of like friends talking it up, shit, you know, whatever.
Shooting the shit.
Exactly.
As the kids say.
But I think in the last year, like, just like we said, taking time to really kind of being friendly and like hanging out with each other, I think it's become like such a great friendship for that reason, that we do talk about that shit and we hang out to actually hang out and not just,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it's important. I feel like often when I think about like who my close friends are or the people in my life that I call friends, I try to think a lot about like the kind of things that we've actually bonded on in terms of especially like conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when you go out to a bar with like 20 people, 4 people minimum.
I was like, not in
But
this
like,
era, bro.
yeah, like back in the day when you'd go to like bar hangouts and there's just like 10 people or 6 people, whatever, and everyone's just chatting.
Yeah.
I never feel like anybody's really talking about anything.
Yeah.
It's just like small talk and like, oh, let's talk about an anime. Let's talk about this song that we like. But it's not like, hey, how are you? What's going on in your life? Like, are you okay? Are you happy? What's going on?
Yeah.
How's your job? You know, like, are you like following your dreams? That's the kind of, I've been asking people that so much lately that they probably think I'm fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I've been curious lately. You've been working in a job that you fucking hate for 20 years. When are you going to stop that?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you're an asshole. And I'm like, probably. But at the same time.
But you still hate your job, though.
It's like, I love you. I want you to fucking do something bigger because like, and that's something corny too that I've thought about. Like this started when we first did stand up. I was thinking like, I don't know. It was almost like a mightier than thou feeling where you're like, yeah, I'm fucking like chasing this dream. But it's like nobody around me was really doing that themselves. You know, they're just like working at fast food places or whatever the fuck, some shit that they don't give a shit about. But it's like, yeah, I'm doing that too, but I'm also doing fucking comedy, bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I just wish people would like give themselves more chances to like try things like that, or like to really like chase whatever it is that in their soul or whatever they really want to do. So people in the world, when I come up to you and I say, hey man, what are you passionate about? Don't freak out, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a big question, but you in your heart should know it already, and if you don't, you should find it.
Yeah, and I think that's the other part is like, if you don't know what you're passionate about, like you should really start to examine that. Like in this last year, that's kind of what has been like the key factor of my life, is like finding what I'm most passionate about and really getting after it, you know, like, it's just hard to really sit and work the same job as like things pass you by, and you have these thoughts of like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But at the same time, like nothing's coming of it, or you're not doing anything towards it.
Or like or you're putting all your effort towards something that is ultimately I mean, this is me again quoting Code Miko from that clip I showed you yesterday. But she was saying like, you're essentially putting all your energy and all your effort into somebody else's dream. Like, and that's, what does that matter to you?
Exactly.
Well, you give a shit how much money your dispensary makes.
You know, like, I give 0 bits of that.
I give 0 shits what the job I work for does or what they benefit from. If it's in a fucking newspaper, it's not like my name's there.
Exactly, and that's ultimately what's inspired me. You know, like is the disdain that I have, a
little bit of bitterness.
Yeah, that I have to be there for 8 hours and like. And like ultimately like that's my goal, like not only specifically for this year, but I'm gonna pursue it as hard as I can to get to that level where I don't have to go clock in somewhere.
Yeah,
I clock in when I go sit at my computer for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal, you know, whether it's this year, next year, 5 years from now. But in my head, I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to do. You know, I talked to my mom the other day and I was like, I don't want to work at my job anymore. She's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, nothing. You know, I want to do what I want to do, not go work at whatever job. Like I want to make my art every day, all day.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's anything that last year taught me and kind of everything that's been happening is forget everything else that you think is important. That's, you know, working towards everyone else's goal. Like you should be doing what makes you happy.
Yeah. And that was another one of those things that I felt like it was kind of like grating to people when like when you do kind of find that thing for yourself, you kind of end up like spouting it a lot, you know, like talking about it and like almost like pushing it. I wish I could think of the actual. So I remember there's this really cool YouTube channel. It's called Charisma on Command. They like teach you like just like different traits of charisma and like mindsets that are like positive to keep in life. And one of the things on there that I remember them saying was like state your purpose like with confidence. Like whenever you're like, why am I on this planet? Right? Like it's a dumb saying. Like nobody's on this planet for a reason. You choose what that reason is. But like when somebody's like, hey, who are you and what do you do? Like you should say what it is you do with confidence. You shouldn't be like, oh, and I'm a fucking accountant. It's like, yeah, you are an accountant, but is that who you are? Or no, or is that who Wells Fargo told you should be from 9 to 6 every day or whatever? I mean, it sounds dumb to say like, oh, this is your purpose or whatever, because I'm sure that'll change several times in your life, regardless of how you feel. But it's like, you, when you're telling that to someone else, you should say it like you believe it, or like you truly. And that was another one of those things that I was just like, it just overspoken. People are like, shut the fuck up, because you end up kind of graining that into people's minds that like they don't have that. I feel like, yeah.
Do you feel like you found your purpose yet, or no,
not exactly.
No.
I mean, I'm still working towards it. I definitely know that I want to work in comedy, and then there's some degree of like, when we're putting out content, no matter what it is, I feel proud of it because it's like it's uniquely ours. We work together to make it. You know, like I spent all this time editing to make this thing, and it shows. Like when you look at the thing, and I think that alone, that feeling is not matched by anything else that I've had from doing stand up or working at my job or working at any job I've had in the past, anything like that. I know it's in this angle that we're in. Yeah. I just don't think we've 100% figured it out yet where it is, but I think we're on the right track. I think that's really where I'm at, yeah.
And your skills specifically continue to...
Is that Discord?
Yeah. Feedback, friends assemble. Stupid.
Stop asking for feedback, guys.
I think you've inspired me to a level because of your skills, like what you did with Premiere, what you've done for Photoshop. Like it's really shown me like, okay, I gotta step my fucking game up because you're up here in my eyes, you know, like you're like in my eyes, like what you do is like so quality in my eyes, and like stuff that you put out and the stuff that you show me, us, it's great. And
appreciate that.
Yeah, it's no lie. Like numerous times you've shown me like some sort of edit, like thumbnail, whatever. You know, it's just like it's just so great in my eyes, and it's so, I don't want to say on brand, but I feel like you and I understand, or at least have the same sense of humor, to where if you think it's funny, I'm probably going to think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. You know, like, and vice versa. And I think that's so special, and it's not often replicated like that, you know, or like I couldn't imagine how many groups or partners that work together that have that same sort of like mentality of it's like
synergy.
Exactly. Or I mean, 'cause a synergy is one way to describe it, but I think it's even another level of like, dude, like we understand the same, like same humor.
We know what we're looking for, yeah.
Yeah, and that's helped me elevate my game, and I mean that's why I learned Premiere because of it. Just because we decided that we would start editing on the same format, and then just because I would see what you're doing on Premiere, and then I'm like, yeah, fuck, I gotta step it up, you know?
Yeah, I think that's been actually super cool in the last year, where like I don't even know. I guess the Leprechaun video is kind of what started it. Because I think that was the first thing I edited in Premiere was the Leprechaun 3D video.
Yeah.
Which I am working on an anniversary version of for this year.
You know, we got to do the first one, right?
Yeah, we'll probably do that too. But I have a re-release that I want to make. Just because I've learned so much since we made that. But yeah, like just the drive of being like, we had this bold idea for that video. Granted, the version that we released isn't exactly what we wanted to do. But just that drive of like, oh, I need to learn this tool to get this thing out because we have that was one of those things where we actually did have a deadline. We were trying to get that out by St. Patrick's Day. And I think like...
That was like a week away or
like
some
a week
bullshit.
before. Yeah. I just stayed up,
Shout out the Cold Soup production deadlines. Always like a couple of days to a week away.
At least back then. Not so much... You know, we're getting better at it, but again, still our first year. So
Valentine's Day is about 2 weeks.
Is it?
No, it's probably like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3, 4 weeks.
But yeah, like, you know, it was just one of those things where I found how easy it was to self-teach Premiere Pro. You know, just especially in the age of YouTube, and there's all these creators out there that have like really quality videos teaching you how to do things in Premiere Pro. Some stuff in Premiere Pro I already knew because I used to use Sony Vegas. Yeah. Which is like a video editing software for monkeys. If you use it still, I guess. Either that or you can't afford $50 a month, which I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Creative Cloud is ridiculously expensive. It doesn't make sense to me, but hey, man, Spielberg uses it, so they had to raise the price up. But yeah, it just showed how easy it was to like self-teach those kind of valuable skills in this day and age. And I feel fully confident at this point that I could put Photoshop and Premiere on a resume.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, and that's something I did in the last year alone, less than even. So, I don't know. When somebody says like they can't do something, it's like you're not putting in the effort to try.
Yeah.
You know.
Even then, self-teach is
easier than ever to do.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, no matter what, I had like, you know, it's more prominent in the Star Wars Phantom Menace video that. I was like, I had like an idea for the shot, but I don't know how to do it. Just Google what you have in your head, and usually it will come up. There's always a means to do it, and if there isn't, then just think about the fact that professional movie creators use Premiere, and they can figure it out.
Yeah,
so
we can
no matter
get
what
there.
You're thinking
we can get there.
The means are there. You just have to really, just gotta really dig for it and want it. And so, I mean, all those skills are pretty valuable. I mean, like. When you looked at 2020, like how did you feel that year as a whole? Like, and especially like in terms of like going into quarantine, did you feel like quarantine was something that like halted your progress in life or where you were headed? Or you have to pee?
Yeah, I have to pee so bad.
I can feel
broke
it in
the
my bones.
first one.
That's all right. Nobody in my life has ever like they're about to answer a question, but they're doing it while moving. That's how you know someone's got to pee real bad. They're like, cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I've been there, y'all. I got a weak bladder. Or maybe I just have a strong bladder. I don't know what the actual terminology is. Maybe you have a really strong bladder if you need to pee all the time. I'm not up to date on this stuff.
You were saying first bathroom break of 2021.
First bathroom break of 2021? That's
yeah.
impressive considering it's fucking the 22nd of... Never mind.
But you were saying quarantine.
Yeah.
Are you saying like...
Like, I mean, we were all on a specific trajectory before we went into quarantine. We were doing stand-up comedy every week. We were, you know, that was really the only thing I think we were chasing. We occasionally did a podcast.
Yeah.
We had a couple good podcasts at the start of the year with Johnny Brim and CC.
With a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, there was still good shit going on, but I mean, it really wasn't our main thing. But then, boom, you're stuck inside, bitch. Can't go nowhere. The air's toxic.
Truthfully, I did a pretty... like a big show. I did the Don't Tell comedy show right before...
No, I remember that.
Right before it happened. I love the podcast. Like, that's why I really wanted to bring back the podcast, just because it was a good time. I feel like it really allowed us to talk and have that time, also bring people in, and we can still kind of do that going forward. But comedy was a big thing. I still enjoy doing. I haven't done comedy just because I haven't felt like it's kind of been the right place, the right time.
Yeah, no.
And putting so much more time and effort into what we're doing now, like, I don't know if that's going to become a regular thing again.
Yeah.
Though I want to get back at it. It's just a matter of when and where.
Yeah. I just feel like sometimes it's like, oh, you could write a joke for a stand-up, or you could find some way to use that in our stuff that will last forever.
And I think that's kind of where my head is now, is what we're doing now may not see the same sort of response, whereas like a laugh on stage,
right? Like,
you know,
immediate.
But in my heart of hearts, that like writing in a script and getting a laugh, like I think back on the Mystery Inc. video that we did for Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like the carbs, you know, where the host Allison Klemp.
Oh yeah.
Where
Allison
like
Klemp.
like they she kind of referenced back to
Yeah,
that, where
it was
she was
good.
like the carbs, and then like we were watching it, and I was like, fuck yes, you know, like how cool is that someone like thinks about your joke like that?
Yeah, and memorize it.
And like that speaks volumes to me, because I'm that type of person that if it's a movie I love, I know the lines, I know, you know, bits,
Yeah.
you know, like it's just, it's the little things like that really kind of stick with me.
Yeah.
So the fact that, you know, someone somewhere laughed at my joke, and to the point to where they were able to recall that, like,
Yeah.
like that's amazing to me. And that's so much more special.
For sure.
A laugh on the like, but also like the flip side, like being on stage is a whole nother,
It's a very
is a whole
different
nother
animal,
world.
yeah.
You know, like that laugh from a crowd it's a whole nother, and especially that Don't Tell show. Shout out Nick and Rachel and all the Don't Tell comedy people for putting that show together. But it's
This is the one that was at a gym, right?
yeah. Oh my God. Yes. And it was so much fun. There's a picture of me standing on a fucking box, wiping my ass, you know,
Doing pull-ups
yeah.
unsuccessfully.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Fuck that video. Whoever decided to do pull-ups. But like, I like being in front of a crowd. I like that sort of aspect, but the thought of it playing on camera like that and being able to deliver something like that.
Yeah, it's a much wider audience.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It just hits differently for me.
Yeah,
it hits
it's
very
very different for sure.
differently, and
It's a media response versus almost like a delayed
yeah,
subconscious response.
exactly. But when I see it on video, like it honestly makes me feel so amazing, so amazing. Like watching the videos that we've put out and seeing some of the jokes and the edits that we've done, like it's been so special.
Yeah,
It's been so
I
special
agree.
to me.
It's like anytime I see something like that, that's what makes me be like, all right, I remember why we put this shit out. Mm-hmm. You know, especially like there's a cool feeling when like, especially with YouTube, like with YouTube, you kind of need to be like way ahead of yourself, which is like, it sounds impossible, but it's like, in terms of like our Let's Play series that we've done, like, you know, we would record those, but they wouldn't even release for like a couple weeks
Yeah.
sometimes. So like you'd go back to it and you'd be like, holy shit, I don't even remember I said that shit. And that's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. I can't
Yeah.
believe that came from my brain.
Yeah.
It's shit like that where I'm just like, wow.
You brought up the Fetty Wap. We just posted that
Right,
today.
yeah, that was just
and,
coincidental, yeah.
You know what's so funny? I had to explain to someone on, because I had played it at work, right? We have a TV in the back room on the
Nice.
break room, and there was like nothing on. So I was like, fuck it. Let me go to YouTube, and I just played our channel, right?
Nice.
And someone was like,
It is you.
have you, they were like, yeah, like, have you ever been too faded to do, like, to record? And I was like, oh, well, funny enough, our first Wind Waker video, we were drinking all day.
Yeah.
And then we smoked and kept drinking. And in turn, like, that was the first video
Yeah,
of
and
Wind
it
Waker.
shows.
And it showed. And it,
I love that too.
But coincidentally enough, that was the video that was playing. Was the first video, Wind Waker, where I was like, oh hey, yeah, it was the first episode. And then I looked at it. And I heard I was talking like this, and I was like,
it doesn't really peak until like the second, third episode. But
yeah, but I was just like, oh, this is it. Like, this is it right here. Like, we were way too drunk to be doing this, but it was still so much fun. And
yeah, I can't believe we didn't get pulled over for driving a boat under the influence.
Puff them sails, brother. But yeah, it's
shit cracks me up though.
You know, quarantine was one thing, but I think ultimately it solidified what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And from then, we've ran with that.
I mean, yeah, I think it's the right way to go in terms of like what we're trying to put out.
Yeah.
I just feel like for quarantine, I don't know. Quarantine felt like for so many people they just saw it as like a real negative thing. But for me, I think for like after the first 2 months, once I finally kicked myself in the ass, it was more of an opportunity than anything. Like I don't think if it wasn't for things like quarantine and the fact that I work from home, that I would have any amount of the time or drive to like write and edit and any of that kind of stuff that I've been doing. I don't know. I know Jack says this all the time, but like whenever the world goes back to normal, I'm not even sure if the capacity for us to accomplish what we've been doing will be the same.
And you know,
that'll be the point where it's like, quit the jobs, bros.
I think because I have not stopped working since last year. And
you guys were out for like a couple weeks, I thought.
No,
not at all. Oh yeah, because dispensaries were like,
it was a 3 days. It was 3 days that we got, and then we started delivery. And in my head, it was like I was almost envious of people that got to stay home. Like I'm still envious of you because you get to stay home. But at the same time, like, yeah, you talk about it where, you know, eventually one day maybe you will have to go back to an office. And it's like, dude, fuck that. Yeah. You know, like you keep like it's going to sound so corny as I say this, because as I'm thinking it sounds like a nightmare. A hustler's mentality, you know? Yeah. But it's just like, not that I don't care about my job, but
don't say that.
My job has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way of looking at it.
I show up, I clock in, I clock out. What I do outside of work means 20,000 more to me than what happens for those 8 hours. And when I get to finally cut those 8 hours out of my life and just
Such a huge
commit
chunk
to
of time.
Yeah, it's insane.
Massive.
It's insane. When I get to commit that to what we do and what we're working on, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Or for the first week, I'm just going to smoke way too much weed. And
bro, don't
even then, it'd be great.
Not weed, but like, I don't know. Like I've been working from home since like March of last year.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty used to just like whatever like my space is allowing me to do. But like something about this new year has like really like gotten in my own head. I don't really know what it is.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because like I set New Year's resolutions, which is something I don't normally do. But like immediately upon doing that, I was like, the first week of 2021, I didn't do fucking dick.
Nice.
Granted, we already had videos lined up and shit. I didn't.
It's
need
the 20th. I haven't hit any of my goals.
Really? Well, I mean, nobody's expecting you to.
Well, no, I haven't started on any of my goals. I guess I should.
Yeah, say. There was so much procrastination going on, and I just was like, I think I was talking to you guys about it too. I was just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just can't bring myself to do anything. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like almost like when you set New Year's resolutions, you like immediately kind of get in your own head, and you're like, let's fuck these up. I think I also set too many as well.
What's some of your top New Year's resolutions?
I'll tell you, I have them on my phone.
I'll go and I'll do mine.
I'm a very meticulous note taker, so
dude, your organization skills inspire me. I hope to one day be as organized as you one day.
Oh my god, the first one is already ridiculous.
Be more organized.
All right, I'll go through mine and then we'll go through yours, and then what do you think? How far is this episode at?
We're about to.
too much.
We're about to hit an hour.
Fuck yeah, look at us, dude. All right, so yeah, mine are a little crazy. I'm a little bit of a crazy person. First one of my New Year's resolutions, which I've not done at all, is deal with the parts of your past that you haven't let go of, so that it does not burden your future. Whoa, right?
What are you, a fucking anime character?
No, you want to know what inspired this, dude?
Yeah.
So I was watching Cobra Kai. Have you finished the third season of Cobra Kai? First off,
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
have you finished
yes.
it? Okay,
It's the best thing
So
I've
you
ever
know
seen.
that scene where he's Johnny is talking to
Spoiler
yeah,
alert, by the way.
spoiler alert
Season
for
3.
season 3 of Cobra Kai. But when Johnny is talking to Elizabeth Shue's character, his ex girlfriend from when he's in high school, and she's like, there's like they don't, I don't even know what the fuck they say, but they like whatever the fuck that encounter is at the end when they finally go away from each other and they move on. And they're both like, we fucking needed
they're
this.
talking about
I just thought it was fucking.
they're talking
mind-blowing.
about
I
the
was just
new
like, holy
girlfriend
shit.
and
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, your future looks awesome."
Yeah, like you're just like they were just so young.
Yeah,
You know?
I was like that. I feel like that could be me in 20 years if I don't fucking do some shit.
That's fair. That's
so I don't know. I'm a very big person. I have a very big issue with like just focusing on the present is something that you learn a lot in meditation in terms of like how to like look at life, but it is so hard to just stick there, right? You're either always thinking about the future or like for me, I dwell on the past a lot. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Do you know Make Amends? Have you heard of Make Amends?
No,
it's like
I've heard the saying, but
it's kind of like a AA, like an addicts thing. Like make amends. You make amends to people that you've wronged in your past.
Okay.
You can't move on with your recovery until you make amends.
Right.
Do you feel you don't have to go into any specifics, but do you feel like there's people from your past that you have to make amends with?
I mean, yeah, to some degree. I don't know if it's necessarily like I need to make amends, like I did something wrong, but it's just like I feel like sometimes there's just too much shit left in the air, and I'm kind of a very
closure. You need that closure.
Yeah, I think
guess.
closure is a big part, but I think closure is also something we made up to make us feel better. Closure is something for TV shows and movies. I think is something in my head because otherwise your story doesn't have a third act. Over 2020, I focused on like this list of magnetic mindsets and social improvements that I just wanted to continue to focus on. But one thing was like being an active listener. I'm not really good at, which is really like this is probably something that like anybody in a relationship could benefit from. But like when like your significant other or something is like telling you their problems, it's not your job to fix them.
Yeah,
you just want to say that you're there and that you understand and that it's hard. Active listening, it's like a reflection thing. It's something I've learned about. I don't know.
That's actually very important. It's very important.
It really is, I think. Because I think I don't want people to be like, oh, you always twist a conversation to be about you trying to solve it or like, it's just like, shut the fuck up.
I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to do the same thing in this podcast.
Right? Yeah, podcasting is a great example of that. And I'm sure you can find 1,000 examples over the last year where I'm not doing it right. I had be more mindful of social media and limit it so that you can focus on the present. Social media is a perfect example of one of those things where you're going to be generating yourself a nice fine stack of anxiety because you're comparing yourself to other human beings, sometimes robots.
Do you find yourself comparing yourself to a lot of social media?
Not as much anymore because I don't really go on social media for the same reasons.
Yeah.
I kind of just go on social media really to promote, which I know people don't like either. I don't know. Social media is like such a fine tuning of like, I mean, I used to just use social media to be social.
Yeah.
But a lot more times these days, I just use it to like kind of get in and get out.
Yeah.
But I do know there's like a fine balance that you need to kind of crack where it's like you're not just promoting your content nonstop. You're like
you're being a
being
real
as well.
You're being a real person.
Yeah. So, but my thing is less like scrolling.
Yeah.
More just like let me get my shit out and then get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
That is really it. I just want to be better at planning and coordinating and making things and organizing things so they actually happen. And that really comes from a pet peeve of mine where people will like text, they'll just send a group text and be like, hey, anyone want to do anything? Yeah. Every fucking day at every fucking second. Hey, anyone want to do anything? It's not a plan, nor is it you trying to accomplish anything. So it was really just me being like, it's a matter of me trying to be less indecisive. It's, like just, this is what I want to do. Let's go do it. If people want to come, they can come. And if they don't, then they don't.
Yeah.
but it's not about us fucking pissing back and forth on what
30
bar
minutes,
we should go
yeah.
to. Just fucking go to a bar. They're all the same, guys. You're gonna order Bud Light anyway, you bitch. Spring cleaning was one of my things, and physical, like mental and physical space cleaning, which I've been clearing out my closet. I got rid of like 3 trash bags full of clothes.
Did you donate them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a Walmart thing up by my house. The guy had come out with 3 trash bags I could barely carry, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "It's just clothes, bro. Don't worry. There's no dead animals in here you can find." That was a really big thing. And that's because I'm trying to move in this year. I just realized some of these are a little bit more personal, but I'm trying to move out this year. I've been living with my mom because she. I moved in with my mom, as you know, a couple of years back because my dad was really sick. My dad passed away, but now I want to move out. But I have to. My mom can't live alone in the current house she's in. So helping her get out of that situation was one of those. I want to learn to cook. It's a fun one. Cold Soup Productions 2.0. Booyah. That's on there.
What's 2.0?
Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about at the beginning of the year when we kind of sat down and we powwowed kind of some of the changes and different things we want to try and do this year. Similar stuff, but still good stuff, and not too crazy different from what we're doing, but trying to double down on it,
making it bigger.
I'm gonna keep working out, but I'm actually gonna be going to a gym. That was one of my things. I want to get more tattoos, but only once I'm in shape. And I want to make one song of my own making this year, whether with my brother or with Jay.
Ouch. I'm right here.
Well, those are music producers. It doesn't mean you wouldn't be in it. I'll drop you a verse, bro. I don't even know what that would be at this point. Making a song sounds like such an undertaking. I think about it all the time. I thought it'd be kind of cool to try it out.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of shit, though, for 1 year, And it's also a lot of it is very vague and widespread. So it's really just a matter of like keeping a consistent mentality.
Yeah,
throughout the year on those.
That's good that you set goals, though. And they all seem like very realistic goals.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest difference. If you set like a high expectation for so many different
president.
Goals. Yeah.
Whoa. You gotta wait.
Well, we all know
years.
how easy that is now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they all seem like very realistic goals, and I think that's the biggest key.
Yeah.
If you had set so many different goals that are like so up and down, like I think that's a whole nother monster.
Yeah, or like some shit that's not even in my control. Like, oh, let me get fucking. I want to be CEO this year. That's an extreme example, of course.
Exactly.
Like job promotions and shit. That's never really in your control.
Yeah,
you can bust your ass and still never be rewarded for it.
Exactly.
100%. Especially if you're working for the man.
Shout out my job one time.
Shout out everyone's job one time. Yeah. So what do you got?
But dude,
going?
That's great.
Yeah, I remember.
I love those. I love that. That's awesome.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anything that I can help facilitate.
Oh, of course.
Did that go into my? Did that go into mine? Put your leg up one more time. No. Okay. There it is. There it is.
What do you guys think of this camera angle too? We're experimenting a little bit. If you like it, if you don't like it,
little split ski versus the widescreen.
Let me make it for sure accurate. So Marco's not taller than me,
dude. No, I feel like my posture has been straight up garbage.
Yeah, posture is an ongoing thing, but get some good shoulder exercises. You can fix your posture, bitch. Big body
boys. So mine are going to be... So mine are really based around my creation. So the biggest thing that we've been talking about is like the stuff that we've been wanting to do kind of creatively. And that's really where my head has been at, is a lot of that stuff. Obviously, there's some stuff like buying a house and, stuff that's kind of like... more personal that I couldn't even pretend to even know. But the big thing is I wanted to write a mini series,
right?
Which we are actively working on right now. I wanted to write a mini series just because I've done one-offs, but the thought of writing a mini series and actually following through with it is a whole nother monster to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where one of my big goals is I want to write a mini series. The next one is I really want to write a music video. I want to film and produce a music video.
What about the one that we did?
It's a musical. Don't get me wrong. Like,
okay.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love that.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a song you made, even.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I could, but that's not really where my head is at. Mm-hmm. Really, what I wanted to do with the music video is to get a local artist. I want to help a local artist with their music and put it out on an avenue that could help them. Mm-hmm. You know, just because. It's not. I mean, it's for me in the sense that I get to write, produce, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be a song that I genuinely enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be a band or a group or an artist that I genuinely enjoyed. It's not just, hey, send me your music video.
Yo, Vegas locals.
But it's if any local artist, some way we can put this out. I want to hear music and I want to help people that don't have that same sort of exposure that we don't even have.
Yeah.
I want to help facilitate that and kind of, for lack of a better word, use that synergy of, that music, our talents and our writing and our equipment just to kind of put that out there.
Yeah.
Just because smaller productions, acts, groups kind of need that sort of support system. Totally, we've been kind of doing this on our own.
Yeah.
And I have no problem doing that and growing that ourselves, because at the end of the day, that's just who we are, and that's what we'll always be, is ourselves and us. But I want to help people like us, people that don't feel like they have a voice or
like the means.
Yeah, or the means
issue,
because it's intimidating. It's very intimidating. Yeah, very overwhelming. But I think half of the battle is doing it and
starting even.
It's starting it. And that's where the music video kind of comes in, is like, yeah, we shot the musical. I love that musical. That Cold Soup Christmas.
Yeah.
That's Christmas to me. That's
sure.
Christmas, and
no turning back.
That song still plays in my head, and I imagine when Christmas rolls around again, and then I commission a cover version for it. It'll
metal version.
Yeah. Oh, that's for sure the next one. You think
August Burns Red.
Yeah.
Cover this shit.
But that I just want to facilitate that sort of idea and that mindset, you know? And so that's where the music video came in, and just to kind of build that and to kind of give myself that test, I want to know what it's like to film a music video and put that under my belt, and add that to my resume,
Who knows?
So there's that. Another thing, Halloween.
Right.
I love Halloween.
Oof.
I love horror movies.
Yeah.
I think this year, and I guess this will kind of piggyback on another one of my New Year's resolution is I want to diversify my writing and kind of what I do, to not just be strictly comedy. I want to do drama. I want to do horror. I want to do it all.
Pull on those heartstrings.
Yeah. And specifically, a horror, like a genuinely scary.
Short horror is huge on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, that, I mean, it's what I love the most. It's horror movies. I watch so much of it. I appreciate so much of it. In my heart of hearts, it just makes sense that it'll probably be in October, just for the sake of Halloween. And I'm a sucker for semantics. But I'm gonna write a horror video, whether it's a short. I kind of want to base it like a short film.
Shit, I just got an idea.
Horrorly shit.
Horrorly shit.
But I think that's my goal for October. Is I'm gonna write actually scary sort of horror type of video.
Right.
And I'm gonna put my hard work into it.
That'll
but
be a real test for sure.
yeah, and really test myself, you know. Just because the miniseries is one thing, but to make I think of it's The Orphanage. The Orphanage is always what I come back. Yeah, well, just because it was the first movie that ever really terrified me. Yeah. They gave me that feeling of like, oh,
this could happen.
Like, oh, like, well, it's just like I don't like, like that uneasy feeling, you know. And it hit me to the point to where I was like, that's the best horror movie I've ever seen, because no other horror movie or no other movie has ever made me been like,
yeah, like shudder.
Yeah.
Or like chills.
I feel it. I felt it, you know? And I want to try to create that myself in my own way. And I think I have one. I have an idea that I really love, that will maybe hopefully do that. But I don't know. Like I want that. I want someone to experience that feeling. Like we had talked about, like that joke kind of coming back.
Which one?
You know, like that cook carbs, like someone kind of recalling a joke. Monster. Yeah. But or just like that feeling of just someone like watching it and they're like,
oh, right.
They're like, oh, I don't like, oh,
yeah, like the orphanage writers are like gaining your energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. If I could get the writers of that to watch my video, I'd be in heaven. But so, yeah, you know, just that sort of undertaking, I think, is definitely on my bucket list for this year.
Once you get in that season too, it's gonna be looking at you everywhere you glance. You're gonna see that concept or like the reason that you wanted to do that. So I think
exactly.
I don't know why that keeps buzzing like that.
And lastly, watch more new all uppercase new movies.
And you,
yeah, and new accent marks. But yeah,
you're too old school. You gotta get with the times, kiddo.
Yeah, I just, you know,
you gotta watch them Black Widows.
I want to know, bro. I have no excitement for that movie, no at all. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the new one, watching new movies is a good practice just to stay on top of what.
Yeah, well, it's just, I think it's too easy. It's like listening to the same songs over and over again.
Attack me, why don't you?
Yeah, well, no, you know I'm the same way. You know I'm the exact same way.
Fetty Wap.
1738. Hey, what's up, hello?
Hey, what's up, hello?
But it's, you know, you just get very comfortable in what you like and what you know.
100%.
And
expand your horizons.
Yeah. And I think, like, I'm confident in the styles that I like and the genres that I like.
Yeah.
To kind of branch out without losing that core of what I do know and what I like. You know, like I watch movies with the same intention. I'm watching every movie to really be captivated by it, to really be drawn in. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't happen, like, I've learned that it's okay. Like, you just may not be into this movie, finish watching it, but at the same time, like, dude, you just don't like it. Like all the countless 80s movies that I watched that I just do not fuck with.
You're like, yo, these won awards.
Yeah, dude.
I don't like it.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I try not to hang my hat on that, but it's just like, I don't like Back to the Future. I don't like any, like, it's just not what it is. But like, you talk to me about Amazing Spider-Man 2, which everyone will shit on. It's just like,
not everyone, not me.
Well, yeah,
you won't catch me talking shit on that movie in my lifetime.
But it's I know what I like. I like what I like, and I just want to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
And fucking Eraserhead was a great example of trying to broaden my horizons, because I do love David Lynch. I love David Lynch as a writer. Twin Peaks is my shit. And as I watched Eraserhead, I was like, fuck, this is exactly what I signed up for. But at the same time, I'm like, I have no idea what this movie is about.
Yeah, you never, in all the times you've spoken about Eraserhead today, which I will say has been many, you've never once said that you didn't like it, which I find very interesting. You just want to understand it first.
Yeah. And like, I think that's the key, is like, even if I don't get it, or like if I don't like it, like Back to the Future, like maybe I can find some sort of merit to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's also kind of I've even had this thought of like reviewing like almost like bi-weekly or like monthly all the new movies that I've seen, and just being like, hey, this is all the new movies. Let me give like a quick like blah blah blah, the ones that I like more, or the ones that I hated or didn't understand, like, you know, something like that, just to kind of like let me throw my ideas out there. But it's I don't know.
Yeah, I remember seeing I don't know who it was, but somebody last year had like written down every movie they watched in 2020, and I thought that was super cool. I almost wish I did something similar, because then you can kind of reflect back on that. Oh, you've been writing it down.
I have new movies and old movies that I've rewatched.
Fuck yeah!
So far, I only have 2 rewatches.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to know what they are?
I feel like
you'll never guess them. You'll never guess them. Yeah,
well,
they're the
stupidest.
stupidest.
Don't even bother guessing.
30 minutes or less.
Right, I rewatched that too.
That's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Shout out 30 Minutes or Less. Aziz and Jesse Eisenberg.
And Danny McBride.
Danny McBride, Nick Swardson. I forget the girl's name. I don't feel like such a dick. The other one, Superbad, because it's on Netflix now. And I hadn't seen it since it was last on Netflix.
Still a good movie.
Still such a good movie.
Solid.
Creative comedy cornerstone for the new generation.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know, but
Modern American Pie.
better than American Pie.
For sure, yeah. I don't even fuck pie in that movie.
But yeah. I feel like I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what this year has to come.
It's 2021, so you can just like cut out the rest of the letters and you can just say it's year 1.
Of 2020?
2020, the beginning of your new life.
Ooh, I remember one note that I did write that we were at lunch earlier.
Is that what we're calling that?
Had a drink, but we were talking a little bit before about this, and I almost said it during our conversation, but I wanted to save it for here.
Sure.
And this will kind of be my closing thought on 2020.
Nice.
Specifically, I wrote this in here, and I want you to see the top line. Politics don't mean shit to me.
Right, yeah.
If there's anything, well, the last 4 years have taught me, especially this last year, politics do not mean shit to me anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
truly important to you.
Yeah.
Meaningful or impactful.
No. I've seen so many people kind of dig their lives and their personality
100%.
on politics.
Yeah.
And like, if that's what you're into, sure, go for it.
Right.
But me personally, like, I cannot give any of my energy to that.
Yeah.
Like, my life is stressful enough as it is. Like, adding a layer of politics on that is doing nothing for me.
Yeah, and even then, like with politics, it's like I do see what you mean when you say everyone, like so many people have made their entire lives or in their entire Twitter feeds about politics, and it's like, who are you going to be when you agree with the politics?
Yeah,
it's like, what are you going to post that you're in agreement? That's not fun.
Hey guys,
hey guys,
I
really
love everything.
I
love everything that's going on. Guess I'm signing off for now.
Yeah, and so many comedians too. Like so many people that I used to think were like the funniest people on the planet have literally become the driest, most boring people as a result of politics in the last year. I'm just like, I get it, you're upset, and I get it, shit's going on, but it's like, I'm upset by it too. But it's like I don't pay attention to it, or I don't like keep it in my view. I like very specifically like don't pay attention to that stuff, because I mean I remember last year I like in my Twitter feed I banned the word Trump, Democrat,
dude,
Republican.
you did the muted words?
Yeah, I did.
Shout
Trump,
out.
Republican, Democrat, election, some other shit. I don't remember. And I was just like, I don't want to see any of this shit anymore.
This is
I'm
the best
so
thing I
fucking
ever
tired
did.
of it.
Best thing I ever did.
Because like nobody's saying anything different. Everyone's saying the same shit. If everyone's in agreement, we should all be cool, because that's how the system is designed, right?
Especially after watching Social Dilemma, where it's
Right.
like, hey, the way you look at it is also how your algorithm is going to kind of tailor it. Then it's just like, okay, cool. You're just feeding me stuff I want to see. So then it's like
Circle.
yeah. So then it's like, okay, like, I know how I feel. I don't care to see like the endless like, fuck that dude, right?
I too think racism is bad. Yeah,
it is
you don't
bad.
need to say that.
Yeah, we all think it's
We all
bad,
know
you
that.
know? But it's just too much. It's just too much, and I personally never gave a fuck about a president, nor did I think that anything ever like politics, like it never fucking called to me. Last year it became like the staple. Like it was like 2020 fucking next line politics, and
It was an election year, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like, I mean, you think about the election year, even think about the year that Trump ran.
Yeah, it was like literally that the last 4 years have been the same shit.
Yeah, and it's just like, at this point, I'm just fucking tired of it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Now it's like Joe Biden is president, and we will probably go back to not hearing about the president.
Which is exactly how it should be.
Fuck, man. But, you know, it is, and it is what it is. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I cannot lose sleep over that.
Yeah, no, and you shouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you know.
Racism is still terrible, not
Yeah.
condone. I will
course
fight
not.
you in these streets.
We do not condone white supremacy on this podcast either. We should say. Apparently, you have to say that now. So
We do not condone. Yeah, obvious. Mine
what
is, I see you didn't wear the Blue Lives Matter joints today.
no, because I'm wearing red.
He said.
weird.
He said
Too
we're doing.
American.
We're not gonna condone racism. We're also not gonna condone the thin blue line Chuck Taylors today.
Only because you're making them the thin blue line Chuck Taylors rather than the only shoe I have that doesn't have a hole in it.
Fuck, I'm sorry,
I've been meaning to buy new shoes for like the last year and a half.
dude.
so
We need to get you a pair of Nike Jordans.
I agree. I just need to find one I like. That isn't $250.
Fuck, me too. Closing thoughts, 2020 in review.
Yeah, 2020. It wasn't that bad of a year. I feel like a lot of people gave it. They were like, "Oh, fuck this year as a whole." No, if that's your mentality, you're fucking up. There's 365 days there to be a better person. So don't use that mentality. 2021, as shitty as it may be, it's not the year's fault. It's how you're using it.
I think we used it to the best of our ability, and we're still using it to the best of our ability.
Probably the most productive I've ever been in my life.
Yep. Fuck. So true. So true,
Yeah.
honestly. And we're just getting better.
And we're just getting started, bitch.
Big body boys.
And girls.
And non-binary. All of y'all.
Everyone,
Everybody.
yes. In this room, though, it's big body boys.
Big body boys. Closing thoughts?
That was my closing thought. Don't blame the year for your problems. You got plenty of days. Michael the Fire Squid says, "It doesn't matter who you are today as long as you're trying to be better than who you were yesterday." That's Michael the Fire Squid. You're really not going to listen to a fire squid? He's a fire squid. It's from The Good Place. Watch The Good Place.
Definitely was. Best.
No.
It's the best written TV show ever. Honestly, my personal opinion is one of the
One of the is a
one
good
of the
distinction.
best, if not the best.
Yeah. Oh, other final thought. Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around, find out. Underachievers Podcast 2021. I'm Marco Arriaga.
Cody Hunter.
We are Cold Soup Productions.
Yeah.
I really got to pee again.
I know you do. I can see it in your legs. I can see it in your legs, big fella. You wobbly, big fella. You finna fall.
You fit.
Oh, shit.
I can't lift my legs up. There it is. You finna fall.
My camera's over here.
All right, y'all.
Have a good
Enjoy.
night, everyone.
Have a good
Catch
day.
you soon.
Underachievers Podcast back with a vengeance.
You can
Bi-weekly.
you can watch another episode somewhere. Or if you want to watch us, Let's Play. I'm just going to be pointing randomly. I don't know where these things are going to go because it's all kind of up in the air when this shit goes on the internet. But yeah, more content. Check it out. And that will catch you next week. Deuces. Join our Discord if you want to talk to us in person.
Cold Soup Productions.
This is a phone.
It's a fun.
Ring, ring. Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to pass it.